Welcome everybody. A midweek, a very rare midweek, Drunken Idiots podcast for a special occasion.
Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, and we're recording on
It's
Juneteenth.
a federal holiday. They like to. Well, they tried to forget, but we remembered that they went to Texas and freed the rest
two and a
of the
half
slaves
years
after
the Emancipation.
the emancipation.
Well, they didn't have phones and telegrams and all that stuff back then. It just took
them niggas they knew what the fuck they was doing.
Well, it took 2 years to get the news to that last farm. Either way,
Reconstruction. They sent the army down there to say, "Y'all
yeah,
niggas free."
it's over.
We
two
free
two and a
now?
half years. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So happy Juneteenth to everybody out there, and we're here midweek, and I'm gonna edit this and drop this today, hopefully on Juneteenth, because we want to kind of be up with the news and really what happened yesterday on June 18th.
Nintendo saved the day.
Nintendo had probably one of their biggest, let's call it E3, but it's a Nintendo Direct. They needed something like
They
this.
saved the day. All the Xbox fans, y'all was happy. Well, we won this and that. Nah.
Well, they did.
Good old Nintendo.
We'll get to that at the end. We'll give you give your review and I'll give mine of your grade. But I will say this. I'm gonna preface this with the following sentence. You've never seen a showcase like this for a system in its last year. Ever. Where you know for sure in the spring we're going to get a new console, and Nintendo showed off a bunch of games as if it was only 5 years or 4 years into the console life cycle.
Yep.
There's tons of first party games in here.
Yep.
And a lot of third party support. So let's get right to it. So we're going to start off with something that was just a little crazy. There's a brand new Legend of Zelda game out of nowhere called The Legend of Zelda Echoes. Echoes of Wisdom. And this is in the art style of Link's Awakening, so it's this claymation-y style. 2.5D.
Yeah.
It's 3D obviously, but top down.
Old school Zelda.
Link's
man.
Awakening style. So that came out on the Switch, and now we've got a brand new one. But here's the twist. It's playing as Zelda this time. So you're finally playing as the princess. She's got these magical powers which are going to let you traverse the environments by creating what they're calling echoes of objects. And they showed off a few elements of that. So really quick in the trailer, you see her in order to get to a higher level of the terrain, she creates stacks of tables that she had already learned how to echo, and she jumps onto those and gets onto the next portion. And then later on, she's inside of a cave with wind blowing back and forth, and you see her create like an object that allows her to jump over the wind, but then also she creates a tree which just blocks the wind. So what that lets you know is that you will play that game completely different from how I played that game. We're going to solve puzzles in completely different ways depending on how we use these objects. And if anybody has seen what gamers have done with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there's going to be some crazy glitches and game breaking stuff in this. It's going to be, I can't wait to see what the YouTube videos for that are going to be like. I thought that was like a major announcement.
Yeah, that was a super announcement, and they're dropping a new Switch.
A Switch Lite, a Legend of Zelda themed Switch Lite. So right when you thought this is the end of the Switch's life and they're not going to sell any more consoles, here we go. We're going to drop a variant on you with one of the more popular franchises themed with it. Next, then they showed off. These are not in any particular order, but yeah.
I liked Mario and Luigi.
That's the next game I was going to talk about.
Brothership.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because as a dad, I like to play games with my son. Right now we're currently playing Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
On the PS5. So now they got a Mario and Luigi game that my son is really into because of the Super Mario movie. Mm-hmm. So you got that, and it's platforming, you sharing the screen. Oh man.
Co-op.
It's co-op. Oh yeah, that's a go.
The Mario and Luigi series has been around since Game Boy Advance. It's one of the
Superstars,
best,
right?
Yeah, one of the best. That was on DS, I think, or 3DS. But yeah, they've been around for Mario and Luigi series, and they're all fantastic. There hasn't been a bad one yet. So yeah, unique, colorful art style. It's kind of cel shaded.
Yeah, it's like
kind of different. I like it. I'm with it. A big first. That's two big first party franchises on the last year of the console. They showed off Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Get Square Enix, get those titles a little tighter, thanks. It's a mouthful. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. They looked at, we mentioned this last week. They looked at Octopath Traveler and said, more of that. Square Enix has been in financial trouble lately, and they looked at what works, and it works. What works is Nintendo for them right now. So Dragon Quest, and it looks really cool, the art style.
Yeah.
It's pixels, but it's 3D. And you're getting part 1 and 2 followed in 2025. I know they're doing this backwards, but
he mentioned that he wants you to play 3
first.
3, 1, then 2.
Yeah, he wanted it because it's actually in chronological order that way.
So I've never played a Dragon Quest game, but if I'm going to get into it, then
Classic RPG.
I might. I mean,
NES days, man.
Akira Toriyama,
Yeah.
he was the lead designer.
Yeah, so if you like that art style, you're gonna really enjoy. You could really tell too by the dragons.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Surprise! Donkey Kong Country Returns,
Surprise.
high definition,
Surprise!
and that's coming in January of 2025. So this is right past Christmas. So we're getting a Q1 Switch game.
I can't wait to put my son on the Donkey Kong. Pause.
Donkey Kong Country Returns, which was a Wii game, one of the better looking Wii games, is now getting an HD remake.
Wasn't that the Freeze one?
No, that's Tropical Freeze was for Wii U, and then they re-released that on Switch.
Okay.
This is the one on the Wii.
This is like the one on Wii. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one on Wii. 80 levels from the original Wii game, and additional stages from the 3DS version as well. So yeah, if you enjoy 3 banger first party titles right off the rip, and then 1 banger third party title, the Switch is looking pretty strong so far. Nintendo said, we want to sell another 10 million games. What should we put out? Oh, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Let's add another diamond selling game.
That's another game I would buy.
Let's add another diamond selling game to the Switch's platform. We've already got 100 million consoles out there floating around, so it's going to sell 10 million copies. And that comes out October 17th for the Switch. What can you say? It's Mario Party. It has Mario Party 1 and 2 levels in it, and a whole bunch of new ones. Over 110
Didn't the
mini
last
games.
Mario Party that dropped when the Switch dropped got leaked and got sold early for yeah,
it still sold really well too, even though it was out there.
It was like one cart got out early and sold for crazy high just to play it like a week early.
Yeah.
Mario Party.
Nintendo's not done with their online service. They announced that.
Oh, they bringing back the Battle Royale.
They announced that today. Well, this is for their online Switch service. They announced that as of yesterday, you can go play immediately on Game Boy Advance A Link to the Past and 4 Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, which is one of the best Metroid games for Game Boy Advance, and then some surprise. We got some M-rated games. Turok.
Surprise. Oh, I love Turok. Turok 64?
Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter on Nintendo 64 is now available to play on your Switch online with online play and the original Perfect Dark.
Wow.
So
I didn't hear
Xbox,
that.
right when you thought you guys had the cool Perfect Dark coming out later on this year, Nintendo said, you guys really
want the iffy Perfect Dark coming out.
You want the good one? Hey, you guys want the good one? And guess what?
Surprise.
Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64 with online multiplayer.
Surprise. Oh, shit. Nigga. Oh, man. Where my Switch at? Where the fuck my Pro Controller at?
With online multiplayer.
Let me charge that thing up. Pause.
They showed like a kind of a goofy one that was rumored to come out, Nintendo World Championships NES edition.
That's the battle royale looking thing.
Yeah. So you're gonna get to launch. That comes out today, July 18th.
June or July.
Sorry, you're right. It's next month, July 18th. 150 speedrunning challenges from 13 NES games.
Gonna be a bunch of real life speedrunners on there.
That's what this game is.
Practicing their for the casuals. It's like,
This is for the hardcore fan for sure.
Yeah, the hardcore fans.
And I mean, it'll still sell 1 million copies, I think, because there's enough hardcore, fanatics out there, especially of old school NES games.
Yeah, the speedrun. Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Sports gets an added free basketball update. Go download that. Nintendo gives fan another look at Lego Horizon Adventures. We talked about this. Sony is dropping a Lego game with Horizon Zero Dawn in a new way to introduce the kiddies and Nintendo fans over to the Horizon world. Go grab yourself a copy of that when it comes out. I don't have a release date. It says holiday.
Shout out Sony for that.
There is a that's a smart move on Sony's part.
I think Sony knows their audience. They know that their audience is built up on Nintendo.
Yeah, but I also think Lego was yeah.
And Lego was a good bridge.
Listen, we're gonna drop this on Nintendo because that's where our games sell.
Good bridge.
Yeah, that's perfect. There's a Fantasia Neo Dimension RPG. It's over my head.
That was the Mickey Mouse game?
Nope, it's just Fantasian Neo Dimension. It's like a Japanese RPG. It's an enhanced version of a mobile RPG. I'm all set with that. One of the worst looking games of the night, probably of all the showcases, was Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. It lets you live life as a peaceful hobbit. You're not even one of the hobbits from the adventure. You're one of the guys that stays in the Shire and farms and cooks and lives with your family. I got an idea for all you guys out there. Why don't you go farm and go eat dinner with your real family? They miss you. Go do that. This is probably your most anticipated game. Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
I love Hello Kitty. Oh my God. I don't give a fuck. All my Hello Kitty niggas in the stand.
Drop a comment.
Drop a like.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure is the cozy game for Sanrio fans has been waiting for. New adventure players will need to restore Mysterious Island with your Hello Kitty and Kurumi and My Melody and Cinnamon Roll. The Disney Illusions game that you that one is getting a free update and it is out now. I really wanted to get the Illusion Island game. What I don't like about it is how small the characters are. I love the art style, and I used to love the Genesis Castle of Illusion games and all of that. So this is like a sequel to that.
So they're too small?
But they're tiny on the screen. Like the characters look really small on the screen.
Oh, okay.
No, I just
too loud.
I would
Characters
like to.
Too small.
If you go play the Genesis versions, they're big sprites, and these are like small hand. So, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to give you like a visual of the entire stage because it's beautiful Disney work. But that's my only gripe with it. I hear it's a great game.
Surprise!
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is almost here, June 27th. Go get that. Yeah. This is probably going to... This game got shit on every news source and every reviewer out there, and I am going on record, and I'm going to be against the grain. Funko Fusion is that Funko Pop game with all those characters.
It looked ugly, though. I ain't going to hold you. I can't wait for the Switch attached to
This
come
is
out.
not for you. This is not for me. This is for your son. If any kid out there has Funko Pops... and any kid out there likes all those stupid franchises that is attached to this, Funko Pop Fusion has the potential to become the next Lego franchise.
Maybe Gabe would like it. Alex,
maybe a little too.
I got him a Hulk, a Venom, a Venomized Hulk Funko Pop. I got him a Venomized Deadpool Funko Pop, and them bitches is somewhere with their heads missing.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe not your kid, but maybe a little bit older kids. So I'm going to say maybe 10 to 13-year-olds.
But I ain't see DBZ in there.
No, but they've got Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Shaun of the Dead, Chucky, Battlestar Galactica. They're not skimping on the franchises
Yeah.
that they're licensing.
It's a lot of franchises. I've
And
seen
so-
Five Nights at Freddy's or something.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say this has Lego potential. In a couple of years, we might be seeing some really
depending on how this
big,
performs.
yeah, some really big franchises tied to this Funko Fusion franchise. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Shout out to the Funko people to get a game made.
Yeah, I mean,
and to
it's
spend that money to
Let's
get
expand the brand.
licenses. Yeah. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Because I might invest with them. Put some money behind their stock.
Funko's been around for a while.
Yeah, but they're growing. So yeah,
It's something different.
I might put some money behind that.
Metal Slug Attack Reloaded.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that.
I was, and then I saw it's a tower defense game.
It's a tower defense.
It's a tower defense game.
But it looked like it was 2D and it was side scrolling.
All of that is real. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded brings the franchise to a new frontier, tower defense, alongside beginner-friendly controls and its signature 2D pixel look. This new Metal Slug game lets you build a team from hundreds of characters and fight through a story you won't want to miss. It is a tower defense game, but it is, a different take on Metal Slug. They showed off Darkest Dungeon 2. It is supposed to be a terror game, and that comes out July 15th.
You gonna get that terror game?
I will not.
Why not?
I don't like being scared.
You don't like surprises?
I don't like those type of surprises.
Surprise.
Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. This was weird.
So I recently learned. I want to say maybe about two nights ago. I go home, and I go in my son's room.
We're talking way too much about this game.
I'm sorry. I go home. I go in my son's room, and he's watching
shovelware.
like a newer version of
Looney Tunes.
the Tiny Toons.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, they brought
They're
Tiny
back.
Toons back.
DuckTales is back. Muppet Babies are back.
But what took them so long for Tiny Toons?
Yeah, it's been around. I think a year late. This is shovelware, but it does show off basketball, soccer, golf, and tennis. So if you like Looney Tunes and those type of... what really surprised me was that this was on the Direct. And this is clearly shovelware in my opinion. Yeah, you're not far. Yeah, we got to... Anyway. We are getting Memories in Orbit, a Metroidvania style game. I'm going to skip through these. Among Us got an update if you like Among Us.
It's a good game.
Jesus Christ, another Just Dance. Who keeps buying these games, man?
Teenage girls.
Just Dance is going to probably be the last game. It was the last game that came out on the Wii like 3 years ago. The Wii was still dropping Just Dance. Wii U still had Just Dance. So
Teenage girls.
we're probably going to see a Just Dance 2027 or no, maybe let's say 2030 on the Switch. Ace Attorney gets a collection. So if you guys like those Ace Attorney games. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, another tactical RPG. A weird one that they spent a lot of time on was Farmasia, where you get to farm basically Pokemon. It's a farm.
Okay.
And you farm Pokemon, they grow like crops, and then you go out and they look like Pikmin almost because you get thousands of them, and you attack your enemies with them. So it's an RPG farming game with monsters.
I mean, I guess if you're growing your monsters from the soil,
That's exactly
not
right.
less. It's not as cockfighty. Pause.
Yeah, but it's definitely Pikmin meets RPG meets Pokemon
There
meets
was
Monster
another one
Hunter.
they
It was
dropped.
weird.
It was like Pippaman or some shit like that.
Oh, Dempaman. Yeah.
Pippaman, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a weird DS game way back in the day, and they brought that back. That's weird. Yeah, so anyway, Farmagia, November 1st. Dempaman is a free-to-play game. You don't have to spend money on that. The 100 Line, Last Defense Academy. That's another, I'm guessing, anime game. I don't know. I'm not playing that. Romancing the Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven is returning as a full remake on October the 24th. So if you like that franchise, go grab yourself the Switch HD remake. Experience the Alvarez Empire in Fairy Tail 2. Dramatic retelling of the Alvarez Empire arc from Fairy Tail. Another action RPG from Koei Tecmo. Dempamin, we just talked about, is a free-to-play game. Good luck with that. And we're gonna get into some heavy hitters now that I casually went over. There is an impossible port, that cat game called Stray.
From the PS5.
Yeah, one of the prettiest looking PS5 games that I've never played, but graphically speaking, beautiful to look at. Right? It's you play as a stray cat, platforming,
Fuck cats. I hate
on a
cats
journey
right now.
to escape a long forgotten cyber city. Now, what they showed off was pretty impressive for what the Switch can usually do. We all know this is probably going to be.
And it's weird that it's not coming to place Xbox.
There's a couple of games that aren't going to come to Xbox, and I'm going to talk about that. Stray is one of them. Coming to Switch instead of Xbox. No Xbox release. An impossible port. It should be harder to make this game for the Switch, and yet here it is.
They're taking because no one owns an Xbox.
And they probably don't want to put it on Game Pass.
That too.
Then we're going to get my favorite, my surprise, and the internet has been going bananas over this. I'm going to take you for a ride. Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection.
So I tuned into the broadcast right for that announcement, and the first thing I put in the group chat that morning was
MVC
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 coming to the Switch.
Yes, it brings X-Men, Children of the Atom, one of my favorite Saturn games. Marvel Superheroes, X-Men versus Street Fighter, another amazing Sega Saturn game. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, the first one.
And the GOAT.
And my favorite fighting game of all time, which has been in hiatus except for arcade one-ups, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It also has a Punisher game in there, too. The Punisher is going to be included.
It's going to be like a Final Fight type of game?
Yeah, and that's online play also, so you can play online.
I would imagine a Punisher game be like Final Fight or Double Dragon, and I would play that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be like. And it'll be released later in 2024. Includes all the original songs.
Said Double Dragon.
Development documents.
Double Dragon.
They brought out a Double Dragon a few years ago. You're not that old. Kiddies know. And never before seen art. So I am picking this up immediately. It's coming out on PlayStation 4, Steam, and Switch.
I could still buy it on my PS5 and play it on PS4.
Isn't that interesting? There is a PS4 release. They're going for the install base. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I think they wanted to target graphical. I don't know, but that's weird.
These are not hard games to.
So on the PS5, you can still buy PS4 games and play it, and maybe there'll be some type of unlocked frame rate or something.
No, none of that crap. But those games are gonna be pretty much what they were. But either way, you're not gonna miss out on this game if you have a PS5. Just go buy the PlayStation 4 version, and that's it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And it's coming out on Steam also, so you can finally play this game legitimately on your PC if you so choose. The direct ends on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Gameplay is shown off finally. Yeah. Not just a teaser trailer. It is still a teaser trailer in the way that we know that it's coming out in 2025, so we're still not going to get it this year.
8 years away.
And we didn't learn too much about Samus's new adventure, but we see
the same. We've seen the same bad guys do they shimmy, jump, and they shoot.
So I think and we talked about this. I think you think that the Metroid series is a first-person shooter, and it's not.
We ain't had this talk.
Yeah, I put it in the group chat. It's an exploration first-person adventure game.
No, I'm not saying that it's not a first-person shooter.
And where you're getting the action part is occasionally you get these bad guys, but really it's about the boss battles.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that. So what I'm saying is, I played Metroid Prime. I don't know which one it was. It was on a Wii. It was good.
Yeah.
I was caught in the immersion. The game had me. I got lost or I got stuck somewhere and I needed to get a power up.
Right.
I ain't know where to go. So now I'm backtracking. And as I'm backtracking, I realize, oh, okay, this is where the enemy spawn. And the enemy spawn here. And what I just said, they shimmy, shoot. And
Yeah. You also could have upped your difficulty level.
so
Those are all things you can do to make your gameplay experience better.
I'm gonna play it. So
Regardless, so they announced this game, and I mean that's a 20-year-old. That happened 20 years ago on a 20-year-old engine,
and it looked like it's 20 years old.
So it definitely does not look 20 years old. Now you're being crazy.
20-year-old game with HD remake.
So again, it's definitely a new engine, definitely high definition. So it definitely doesn't look 20 years old. Chris is upset, I guess. I don't know why. When the internet went crazy for this, Chris is in the vast minority for this.
The game does not look... I mean, I get it's on the Switch.
Yeah.
It looks great for the Switch. It looks great for the Switch.
Already from the small visuals that they did show off, they were already talking about dynamic lighting and bloom lighting that wasn't available on anything else prior to Switch. So not Xbox One, not PS4. So there's lighting effects in here that are not available on anything else. The game
should have. It's been 8 years since they announced it.
So it's been 6 years since they announced it.
They announced it in June 2013.
It wasn't 2013.
Yes, it was.
Go look that up again.
I did.
It wasn't 2013.
They got announced June 7th, 2013.
That's 9 years ago then, Chris.
2017. June.
Now let's count.
June 17.
Now let's count.
June 3rd or June 7th, 2017.
Now let's count the years then.
That's 7.
It's still not 10. It's not, well,
it's 7.
Let's just say.
And then if it's going to drop in 2025, it's going to be 8.
So we don't have to scream because we've got microphones.
Okay, so it's going to be 8 years from when they announced it to when it's on the store shelves.
When it drops, it'll probably be about 7 to 8 years.
It's already 7.
But an announcement is not development. You understand that, right?
I understand that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is it's going to be 8 years from announcement to when it's on store shelves.
And what's your point for that?
It should look good.
It should look good. And it does look good.
It does. So it looks good for a Switch game.
Okay, so now let everybody pause here, rewind 15 seconds, and let him say that it looked like a 20-year-old game.
It looks like a 20-year-old game. Yes, it does.
Now pause and go back 2 seconds and say that it looks good.
It does. It looks like...
So does it look good or does it look like a 20-year-old game?
It looks like an HD remake, which is what I said.
It doesn't look like an HD remake.
It
looks better than the HD remake.
Of one of the original Primes.
So they got Metroid Prime HD remake came out last year.
It looks like that.
It looks better than that.
It looks a little better than that.
It looks better than that.
Okay, move forward.
There's nothing to move forward from here. Metroid Prime 4 gets announced. It's the biggest announcement. Definitely bigger than anything that Sony has announced in the last 3 years.
Well, Sony...
I said it.
In the last 3 years?
3 years.
Wow.
And now tell me what's bigger than Metroid Prime 4 in the last 3 years.
God of War Ragnarok.
For what, PC?
No, that came out on PS5.
That franchise is not bigger than Metroid.
A franchise better than Metroid?
Yeah.
Metroid doesn't sell. Out of all of Nintendo's first party, will it sell better than Metroid? Will it sell better than God of War Ragnarok?
I'm going to say it sells better. Metroid Prime 4 sells better than Ragnarok.
All right, so timestamp this.
And here, and here's the reson why. Now, this is going to be the asterisk.
No, there ain't no asterisk.
No, I'm giving an asterisk.
You're just saying it's going to sell better than God of War Ragnarok.
My asterisk is because here's my theory. This game comes out on Switch 2 as well as a launch game. That's why. So there's going to be
Ragnarok
nothing else.
drop on the PS4?
I don't know. But this is going to be a launch title for the Switch 2, and there's probably not going to be anything else available for the Switch 2 first party.
So listen, the game looks good. I'm not denying that it looks good, but it still looks a little dated.
It's a Switch.
I understand that. But if the game comes out on a Switch attached,
Yeah.
I would get it.
So I think that it's gonna be here's you know how they did Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and then it also came out on Switch. I think that's what they're gonna do with Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, it came out on PS4.
What you like the end of the life cycle?
God of War Ragnarok.
Okay, so that's dropped 3 times now. Ragnarok,
No, I think
PS4,
it dropped,
PS5,
I
and
think
PC
it dropped the same time.
at the same time. So yeah, so I think that that's gonna be a Switch launch title, a Switch 2 launch title. That's because why would they wait until 2025 to drop this game, right? And they're gonna have
November 9th, 2022 for both PS4 and PS5.
okay. So at that point, the PS4 sales are probably negligent or negligible. I would say it sold better on PS5 for sure. But if you have a Switch, you're gonna be able to get probably the 720p.
5.1 million units his first week.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And highest selling Metroid game. They don't make Metroid games because they don't sell.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, so the 10 best Metroid games of all time.
How many Metroid games have dropped in the last 5 years? A lot. You're forgetting about Metroid Dread. You're forgetting about Prime Remake.
So I just said that Metroid games don't sell.
They do sell. They
And
sell
now you're
millions of
mentioning
copies.
how many. Now you're mentioning other stuff.
Yeah.
So
how
just
many
to go
copies
back-
of Dread sell?
just to
At
go
least a
back-
couple million.
Just to go back, Metroid Other M, 800,000 copies.
Oh, that was a trash game on the
Metroid
Wii.
Prime Hunters, 1.08 million copies.
A 3DS game
Metroid Prime 2, 1.1 million copies.
on the Wii.
Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, that's the one I had, 1.41 million copies.
Another Wii game.
Super Metroid, 1.42 million copies.
That's the GBA version or the SNES version? Again, so you're
Metroid Fusion, 1.6 million copies.
GBA.
Metroid 2, 1.72 million
I thought
copies.
they don't make them.
Metroid, 2.73 million copies. Metroid Prime, 2.84 million copies.
Yeah,
And the number one selling is Metroid Dread, 3 million copies.
that's right.
Yeah,
They
it's
sell
not
well.
It's not gonna sell more than God of War.
It'll sell more than God of War Ragnarok.
It's not gonna sell more than God of War its first week.
Oh no, no.
5.1 million.
It'll sell 5 million copies, and I'll say this, and again, I'll say this with the caveat of it being, this is the first time that we're getting a Metroid game at the end of a life cycle and at the beginning. If they sell it as a launch game, this game sells more than 5 million copies for sure. For sure. If they don't sell it as a Switch 2 launch game, you will be 1000% correct, and I will give you that for sure.
But I'm just saying, Metroid, God of War, sold 5.1 its first week.
Congratulations.
I ain't look up.
Across 2 consoles.
So is
And we're saying that this is going to be across 2 consoles. So this is going to be a good comparison of Ragnarok.
so yeah, okay, because
We'll
I
have to
don't,
wait and find out. But
but
if
that's
and
just his first week. I don't know what it sold to this day.
it's got to be up there, especially if the PC version is going to drop. It's probably
The
closer to 8 million.
when did the PC version drop?
I don't think it's out yet.
So I could look it up right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 8 million copies or something like that.
That shit is not selling. Metroid is not selling 18 million.
I didn't say 18 million. I said 8. And you're right, it will never sell 18 million. Now, if they launch it with the Switch 2, I would say it sells at least 5 million copies. And that's probably the best it'll ever do. If they choose not to, and they keep this a Switch game, which would, in my opinion, be ridiculous for Nintendo to do.
15 million units as of February 2020, as of November 2023.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So if Nintendo decides not to drop this as a Switch launch game, it would probably be the dumbest move they could ever make.
Nintendo drop it as a
They have to.
as a Switch 2.
Because, like you said, it's been in development, or at least announced, for a long time.
Yeah,
So it has to be a Switch 2 game.
you gotta
It has to be a Switch 2 game.
excuse me for holding Nintendo to the fire for saying, it's been 8 years since you announced this game.
Well, it's been 7.
It's been 7 years since you announced this game. It's going to be 8
They showed
years.
off a logo, and that's
It's
all
going to
they
be
did.
8 years till you release this game.
That's right.
So now I know you guys got new hardware coming, right?
Yeah.
And what I seen, it looks good. It looks great for the
Switch
system
game.
that it's
For
on.
a Switch game.
But what I'm really saying is, really, nigga. Really, nigga, like I know you went harder than that.
I
Pause.
don't understand how they can push the Switch further than what the hardware
Man,
allows.
it got to come out on the Switch too, because I know it got to look better.
So, and if it comes out on the Switch too, you're gonna be sorely disappointed.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be. If it come out on the
This is what I
Switch,
think is gonna happen. I think it's going to be an upscaled port of what we got on the Switch, and that's it.
I think they're making 2 different versions.
Oh no! You don't know Nintendo. They did none of that with Twilight Princess. They did none of that with Skyward Sword. They did none of that with Breath of the Wild. It is going to be the same game with better resolution, higher frame rate. And they're just going to port that over and they're going to sell it to us twice.
Well, if that's the case, then
That's Nintendo.
shame on you, Nintendo.
That's Nintendo. And people will be so happy to pay for it. They're going to be so happy to pay for
Well,
it.
shame on you, Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But so the Nintendo was like what 1.5 mil Switches away from beating the PS2.
That's the last thing that we were going to get into before we were talking about this a few
think they could
podcasts
do it.
ago. They're only in the U.S. They're only 1.5 million Switch units away
Oh, in the
from
US.
in the U.S. from being the number one selling system of all time in the United States.
What about globally?
So globally, when the last time I checked, they were around 10 million consoles behind.
Oh, so US.
But now with the updated numbers, they're closer to around 7 million copies of Switch units to beating the PlayStation 2 worldwide. They've already done so in Japan, and they're about to do it in the US, and that's the 2 biggest markets.
Yep.
So now all they have to do is sell a few more across Europe and other countries, and I think
Nintendo, I'm looking at you. Don't be like Apple and do an update and break niggas Switches.
or do
And
yeah, all of a sudden your battery life doesn't last.
yeah, like you don't do that. I mean, I was looking at
With that Switch Lite that they announced, they're gonna break that PS2 record in the US for sure. That's gonna sell at least 1 million units just on the Switch Lite. Because I know my sister, she's bought 3 Nintendo Switches,
I bought 2.
and one of them was the Zelda one of them was the Animal Crossing one, and when she sees this Switch Lite, she's gonna probably drop another one. And that's a lot of Nintendo fans out there. When they get a specialized version,
I would buy a Switch for my brother and for my son, so he has his own one. So I would buy him a Switch Lite. And I would get one for my brother as like a novelty. Throw a couple Ace Attorney games in there,
something, yeah,
2K
a
and
gift card,
2K,
like a Nintendo
and-
card,
Yeah,
Switch Online. And he immediately, you give him a year of Nintendo Switch Online with that. He immediately has.
he don't play his basketball games online. He said
I'm just saying, like he'll immediately have the update with NES, SNES, N64, Genesis games. So he'll have a library of games right off the rip for $20 a year.
my brother, I was talking to him about 2K. He played 2K. That's
Yeah.
his game. And he said he don't like playing 2K online because niggas take timeouts.
They play
And-
real. they play like they need
Yeah, they
to.
take timeouts and they let
Form
the replay
strategies
go and do all that. And he'd be like, yo, it's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. They
If
just-
I want to watch the NBA, I go watch the NBA.
Yeah. It's like a real game. He's like, nah, I'm not. I'm all set.
I can't play 3 hours, man.
Yeah,
It's
3-hour
crazy.
game just to take timeouts and shit like that. So,
I hear that.
I thought that was funny.
And it's very funny, and it's a real good take on what it's like to play online those sports games. I do play like the MLB games from time to time online,
Yeah.
but it's the same crap.
I like I'm sure you all get this on Instagram, social media. The Maddens. I love the Maddens.
Yeah,
Where the dude catch the ball in the safety zone and then runs halfway, runs to the 50-yard line,
Jukes you.
and then jukes you, and then runs back to the safety, and then jukes everybody
Nah,
out,
you
and
gotta
then
quit.
runs another the full 100-yard dash. Like
Yeah, you gotta quit.
yeah.
You gotta
So
quit.
that was my little side tangent, but yeah, I'm good. Bro.
I get it. So yeah, so that's the whole Nintendo Direct for this June. And if you had to grade it from A to F, what would you give the whole presentation? They showed off a lot of crap, man. A lot of games.
I think I gave Microsoft a B plus, so I'll give this an
did.
A minus.
Oh, you liked it more than the Microsoft one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go the
like
opposite
Nintendo.
way. Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite way and give this the B plus because I gave the Microsoft one an A.
I wish we had a tiebreaker here, but it's all good.
No, if it was Jay, you know where he'd go.
But
And if it was Cyclone, that probably would be Xbox too.
but Xbox got to deliver.
Yeah, and
At the end of the day,
but we're just talking about the presentations as they were.
Yeah.
I would. I like Microsoft's presentation more overall because they had games that I'm more interested in overall.
Yeah.
Whether they come out soon or next year or whenever. Those
Microsoft
games,
showed off a lot of great games, but
yeah, games
will
that
will those games come out when they say they're gonna come out?
we gotta wait and see. But the presentations, which is what we're grading, I like Microsoft's presentation better.
Oh yeah, they had
home,
a great presentation.
They hammered home that Game Pass like you wouldn't believe. They did all the right. They did everything right that Sony didn't.
Yep, they
like,
just got to deliver.
And they're very good at doing stuff like that. They did it on the 360
they're good
days.
at promising.
They're good at looking at what Sony does, and when they f up, they capitalize on whatever the hell they do, and they make sure that we're gonna do the opposite of that. Oh, this. Remember when Sony did the same thing, and they were like, "This is how we share games."
Yeah.
It was equivalent to PlayStation 3 cost $5.99, and then Xbox came out and was like, they just gave the price and walked off the stage. It's that kind of thing. So overall, Nintendo having this type of presentation for the last year of their system is unheard of. I don't remember any E3 presentations for any console in the last year of their system having so many first party support and
it looked like Sony was in the last year of their system and Nintendo was in the first year
like they
of
were
their
just
system.
getting in the swing of things. Marvel versus Capcom 2, holy crap. Yeah, the internet went bananas for that. I'm super hyped for that.
I think Nintendo has probably learned from their mistakes of the Wii U.
Oh yeah, well that's not even a question.
And
we know
they're trying to come out swinging.
So R.I.P. Satoru Iwata.
The Switch attached.
This is his last project, and if he would have been alive to see what the Switch became, he would have been crazy proud. The Wii U is partly to blame with Shigeru Miyamoto. He really wanted to have that gamepad controller, and they really kind of gave him the... And then they also did the mistake of calling it the Wii U.
I seen the leak, and they said the Switch is going to be called the Switch Attach, and it's going to be an attachment with a second screen. And
a second screen, what, on the console?
It was weird, but and then they call it the Switch Attach.
I don't know. I would if I were them.
But
there's a real easy fix. There's two things that they could call it.
Don't call it a Switch Attach.
No, don't call it that. That's ridiculous. Call it, obviously Switch 2 is easy, but I don't think they're going to go with that. New Nintendo Switch, because they did that with the new 3DS.
Yep.
And it worked for them. Or Nintendo Switch Plus. And they could do the Disney Plus route and the Hulu Plus route and the Disney Plus route, and then people will understand that this is the next version, a plus version of the Nintendo Switch. Those are just my takeaways. But Nintendo Attach, that's rough. That's
Switch
rough.
Attach.
Oh yeah, Switch Attach. Yeah, that's rough. I don't know where they got that, but God, I hope not.
Well, I mentioned in a couple podcasts ago that we see the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch And I think they're gonna give another crack at the Wii U with the gamepad, and I think they got it like if
If you could do with the Switch what you could do with the Wii U, which was take it as a second screen and then just turn the thing off and take it with you, I would have, man, the Switch would have been even a bigger hit.
I think they're gonna revisit.
So they're just gonna use it as a standard controller, perhaps.
I don't know. I think they're gonna do something with the.
Yeah, because there's always a gimmick with Nintendo.
There's gonna be a gimmick, but
there's always a gimmick. So using it as a second screen like the Wii U.
So like,
I would not be opposed to that.
Like we seen the Wii U. We seen the Wii. Mm-hmm. The motion controls, we got that in the Switch.
Yeah.
Right?
And we got that with the Wii U.
And it was enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii U just didn't catch on. And we know Nintendo, they cheap. How can we circle back to this? So
they like experimental crap like that, and then going back and using it again for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going.
If they allow me to use my Switch portably as my second screen, like the Wii U gamepad, that would be cool. The battery life on this thing has to be huge because it also has to double as a portable. So, I mean, it's exciting news. I mean, they obviously know the technology. The Wii U gamepad, there was zero lag when you played games on it. It was perfect. They know the tech. So if they go back, it'll be interesting.
I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be cool, but
I mean, you know what it could lead to?
It could be a motherfucking
Nintendo Switch
Sega,
Online.
It could be a Sega games. Attachment.
I mean, if it's just an enhancement, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
It could be it could be like,
and they can port DS games on it. They can do a bunch of stuff with that. We'll find out. We can only speculate at this point with Nintendo. We just never know what their next gimmick is going to be, and that sounds like something that they can definitely throw their system back to. With that said, that's going to bring us to the end of our midweek podcast, and we'd like to thank you guys for joining us. Nintendo really killed it with this Direct. They did a damn good job. 2 out of the 3 showcases for 2024 were really good. And Sony hopefully next year will took this year. They took this year off, so hopefully next year
off. They're gonna, hopefully they come with spades.
Yeah, they're probably looking at this year, and they usually look back and go, okay, we're not doing that again. We're gonna come back. So next year is only 12 months away, and that's gonna go by real fast.
6 months away.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's true. But for next year's presentations around this time. So next year's showcases, we're gonna find out. We're probably gonna get a new Nintendo Direct and Sony Direct and an Xbox showcase in the next 3 months for the latter half of the year and the first quarter of next year.
Sony usually drop their stuff like September.
Yeah, so everybody else is probably going to do the same, and we're going to find out what we've got coming for first quarter. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. What was your favorite game of this showcase? What was your surprise? Is anybody out there going to pick up that Lord of the Rings game? Leave that like, that share, that subscribe button.
Deuces.
We are up. We thank you guys for joining us here, and we are up to 1,400 subscribers. We hit the 1,400 mark.
Happy Juneteenth. And thank you for liking and subscribing.
Thank you guys, and please share and keep the channel growing, and hopefully this leads to more views as well. As always, my name is Anthony, and I'm here with
Talents 860. Oh, also, I got a couple wins in Warzone. I'm gonna be posting those videos to my YouTube. It's been a while since I dropped and made videos and all that type of stuff. But it's going to be on my YouTube soon. And I want you guys to, look and see what's going on. And
check his channel out.
And check my channel out. I'm going to do a lot of, not reenactments, but obviously I'll record the gameplay after it's done. And I'll just walk you through my thoughts.
Yeah.
To get that one.
Little voiceover over it. Yeah, that'd be cool. So his channel, Talents860 or UWA Talents on YouTube. You can find them under both. If you search it in either one, you'll find his channel. Check him out. And as always, thank you guys for joining us. Drunken Idiots every week. Pieces.
Smooth. It's Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm glass of brandy. That Chris Stapleton song is a cover from a black man.